There's that post with Trump and Elon where he's like just totally talking him as he's like standing next to him, and he's like, he was on his knees. Begging for money.
That's old Trump, right? Remember that? He was on his knees begging me, etc. Now Trump and Elon couldn't be tighter. So the idea that he couldn't pull Zelensky out from under this bus, anyone but Trump, I'd agree.
Let me tell you what he said today about vehicles, and specifically, I was listening to his speech when I played Baldur's Gate. It's a wonderful mixture of media, so I highly recommend it. And he said, he said, I think he was talking about how Biden's economy was slow, and then we're going to fire things up. You're going to buy cars. You're going to buy American cars. You can buy an electric car. You can buy a gasoline car, buy a hybrid, whatever you want. I'll tell you what you don't want: a hydrogen car. Those things explode. You know what? And let me tell you, when they explode, they find pieces of your body in the trees. He said this. He said hydrogen vehicles explode. And when they explode, they find your body parts in the trees.
What explosion wouldn't send your body into the trees?
Well,
what's unique about that?
Gasoline.
Dude, gasoline cars explode. Electric cars, I don't know if explodes the right term, but they sure do burn hot.
Yeah, they burn real good.
None of them are safe in the event of a fire.
Hydrogen cars explode, though. They've got a big tank of hydrogen, like the Hindenburg hydrogen. So maybe he's got a point. I don't think he's making it up. He wouldn't do that.
Fair. Yeah, he would never lie.
He wouldn't make some shit up off the top of his head. Dude, Trump off the and the crowd was eating it up. It was probably CPAC he was speaking to because they were definitely a home crowd. It's wild with the Trump presidency. Every day it's fucking entertaining, and I'm here for it, man. I eat it up. I can't help but not watch it. I like the press briefings. I like that little chipmunk blonde chick that's in there chewing people up, being mean to people. The Associated Press isn't allowed on Air Force One for like the free plane ride to and from events anymore. They're not allowed in the White House.
They got me with that one.
and they're like begging, and other news people are like, when are you going to let the Associated Press? It's a privilege to go into, just walk into the White House and talk to the president. That's why we're no longer extending to the Associated Press until they can get their verbiage right.
They're replacing them with InfoWars.
They do. No, they put podcasts like they all sorts of like just electronic media type people, online media type people that they're putting in that seat.
Maybe you know better than me, Kyle. The small little media people they invited, do they tend to be like, the Dave Rubins and Tim Pools of the world, or their parallels, or is it well represented? Does the question make sense? Did I ask it right?
It does make sense. The only one that I can remember, I don't know her name, but she's a very pretty black woman who's conservative.
It's not Candace, is it?
She has curly hair and she's very pretty. And she's light-skinned and she smiles a lot. Not Candace Owens, no.
Okay, she's pretty.
No, this chick's way prettier than Candace Owens. Candace Owens looks like a strict teacher. This chick looks like like she could bake some cookies.
Yeah, she does. Like she's for some discipline, right?
There is no world in which Candace Owens does not tie her white ass husband up and do some like bleached play or something weird with him. Like there's a whole.
You think it's her tying him up, or do you think she's making him tie her up?
Well, see, she's conservative, so I would imagine that she likes to put the white man in his place behind the scenes, because in public it's she's often co-signing conservative viewpoints, but in private she's like, "That's right, cracker. That's right, cracker. Chew my crusty heel." Yes, mistress. Yes, mistress.
Oh, I don't like that about her.
Yeah,
you hush, Taylor. Kyle, you think she's hairy?
The hairiest.
I think
Candace Owens looks like a mean RN, like someone that you went to high school with that's an RN now. That you're like, there shouldn't be one.
I don't know, and I don't follow her.
So my answer would be, it was well represented when I saw them, because the lady I'm referring to is like great. I think she has her own like Fox program or segment or something. She's one of those people. They're really good at like their AAA system at Fox. Like they start people up small and like bring them in people who are interesting and have cool viewpoints, who can operate the microphone, who are good on camera, and they have like that other thing. And then slowly but surely they like, oh, now you get your own segment, now you get your own show, now you run the U.S. military. You know,
I think you're completely
clear.
you're right. The end was a kicker I wasn't ready for, but you're still right. And I think it's partly because Fox values pretty people, right?
Yeah.
You know, whereas like CNN or whatever, they grab some freaking established 48-year-old.
I'm so glad you said that. You listen to 30 minutes of a Trump speech, and there are 5 hilarious moments to me. He was talking about when he flew into Iraq, and I don't know if probably clearly during his first presidency, they went and visited the troops. I think around Christmas, like a surprise trip.
I remember.
And he's like, and he's describing flying in. He's like, we had to turn all the lights off, all the running lights, all the lights inside. We could, and I go up and I sit with the pilots a lot, and I tell you, these guys are right out of central casting. These guys are good looking. All right. They look like Tom Cruise, but tough. All right. They look better than Tom Cruise, but bigger and tougher. And even up there, their lights are turned down really dim. And I'm thinking, $1 trillion we spend in this country, and we got to fly in with the lights turned off. And I say, guys, are we okay? He's like, yes, sir. We're fine, Mr. President. And I believed him. And I'm like, I love when he talks. And he went on about this for like ever. Like breaking it down like this about he was like, and I told him, you think
he loves to riff.
You think I'd give myself the Congressional Medal of Honor for that harrowing landing? and he's like,
not even freedom. He's going to take the military one.
yeah. Because he made that military landing in a hostile country. He's like, I got to be careful though. Next week, the lying news media, and this is like today. He's saying this. The lying Fox, CNN will say, President Trump wanted to give himself the Congressional Medal of Honor. Like democracy has fallen. And the crowd all laughs. And I'm like, he's won. He's won so hard. I hope he doesn't try to do a third term. Or
I want to see them do more actual, like you talked about, like, I'm sure it's funny. I don't watch as much of the briefings and stuff as you by a long shot, but like so much of it, like I'm sick of the bluster and the bloviating and like we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Like the deportation levels are so fucking low. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Like that was something that they got elected on. And now it seems like it's taken a backseat to a bunch of other things that are less impactful to Americans. And so like the whole, like, and there's too many like grifter class people out there, like who just are high on like the owning the libs portion of it, where it's like, oh, it upsets the libs so much, and it's like, fine, if you want to laugh at that.
Oh, he made email signatures remove pronouns. We got them. Yeah,
just stuff that's like, okay. And meanwhile, what 410 people got deported today? Like we have tens of millions of people here illegally living off of our economy, our system, sending tens of billions annually back in remittances. Dude, it's they said 11 million illegals in 2004.
Trump said between
and in 2011
and 20 million. But Trump said that, so I don't know like what the real number is, but that's what Trump said.
Woody, do you know what it is that he removed in New York? Like it was like I can't remember what they call it. It's the fee they charge you for like going to the congestion pricing. I tried to Google and understand what congestion pricing meant in New York, and they just gave me like the broad definition of it. But it's all I found in New York was that maybe if you wanted to go to like the south side of the city, you had to pay like a $9 or $15 toll basically to go there. It scans.
I thought it was $9, but don't quote me on that. What it is during peak hours when traffic was the worst, the prices were higher, and it drove some drivers to take, like, say, public transit, for example, instead of because the tolls got more expensive. They were disincentivizing people for crowding the roads. And I mean, my sources, I don't know, maybe I live in some liberal bubble. Like it was working. Congestion was down. Public transit was up. Like it was a solution. For reasons I don't understand, adding more lanes doesn't solve it. You've heard that again and again and again. It just increases the traffic, and that it seems that it's an insatiable demand for traffic. So congestion pricing incentivized people to find a cheaper way to get into the city. And Trump doesn't like it. I don't know why. I saw something about construction near one of his properties was a true motivation, but maybe people don't like it. I'm not sure, but he got rid of congestion pricing. Boom.